All right. I think. I think we're live. You gave me like no warning this time. So hopefully we're live. Hey Ingrid, hey Russ. It's nice seeing you for a second. Irish say a lady. Let me know if you can hear me. Hey Priscilla, happy Sunday. Hi Elizabeth, welcome. I gotta figure out a way to like lift my laptop so I can see the chat over here so I don't look like I'm ignoring everybody. I'm always looking off to this corner so I can see. Hey Math Geek. Oh, multitasking, I like it. Very cool. Oh, the cat is doing so well. He is safely back home, and it is a week past his surgery, so he's got another week of being the most impatient patient ever. He's still has to wear his little cone of shame so he doesn't lick his stitches where he's all shaved bellied and everything. But he's doing good, handling it as best he can, I suppose. I'm just so happy he's back home. I'm seeing him. He's over here wishing he could be out and running and chasing his brothers and jumping on everything under the sun. And yeah, he's had to spend nights in a little kennel thing. Otherwise, he would have popped sutures by now. He just doesn't understand that he's not 100% okay. Thank you so much for asking. Wow, Nightbot. Okay, it's been 2 minutes, but okay. Nightbot's on top of it. Everybody, yay! Hi, Marjorie. All right, so I'm just going to do just a little bit of housekeeping before I dive into Legit Kits Month 4. We have coming up this week, tomorrow night, Monday at 10 p.m., ends the voting for the 2 Color Quilt Challenge blocks. So if you haven't already, there are 2 groups that you'll want to vote on. You can vote whether you're sewing along or not. So if you like one block better than the other, feel free to vote. It's on the community tab on my channel, and there are a group of milder blocks and a group of spicier blocks. So be sure to vote for both groups, because we always do 2 blocks a month, one from each of those groups. And there are a couple pretty clear winners going in. It did not take long to have 4 runners show themselves this week, but there's still another about day and a half for voting. So if your favorite block isn't at number 1, go ahead and get in there and vote. Have your friends vote. Get everybody voting. That will end at 10 p.m. tomorrow night, and then I will get the winning quilt block names to Stephanie, and then she will have the patterns out to everybody that is on the email list. So if you wanted to join in, it's definitely not too late to join the 2 Color Quilt Challenge. You'll just need to fill out, either send Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches an email, or fill out the form. There's a Google form to fill out. Just, your name and email address, because that's how you get the patterns every month. And then that will go out usually Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how crazy the month is. This is a retreat month for Stephanie, so it might be a little chaotic. So if it's not to you by Wednesday, don't worry. I would say if you don't have it by first thing Saturday morning, maybe give her a shout, comment or something, or email one of us, and we'll we'll jump on it. But yeah, it is. Stephanie Stitches has Camino Island this month, so she's getting ready to go to Washington State. So that's a lot on her plate on top of these two patterns. So just give a little leniency. But then we will be sewing up those 2 blocks the following, yeah, spicy blocks, the following Tuesday. So it's always the 1st and 3rd Tuesday of every month. We are in month 4, so we have this month and then 2 more months. Even months are on Stephanie's channel, odd months are on my channel, where we sew them together with everybody. And we're over 200 people in the group, so that's pretty exciting. And we have a parade of blocks where we show everybody's blocks. If you've just joined and you get as many as you can get done, we'll show all your blocks. We show off everybody that wants to send them in. We show them the 1st Tuesday, and then we sew the 3rd Tuesday. So there's a good amount of time in between for you to play catch up if you haven't been a part of it. And they're 12.5 inch unfinished blocks, so they're a help. Like, they take up real estate pretty quickly. Yeah, so that's going to be this coming up Tuesday. Monday night is the end of voting. Tuesday is when Stephanie will start the pattern writing, and then the following Tuesday we will sew them up together. So that is what's going on. Oh, Ingrid, thank you so much for putting the Google Doc. I appreciate that. Okay, Russ, now that is a visual of you walking around in a cone of shame because you broke your foot. It is crazy how quickly they snap back. And, you know, he doesn't listen to reason, so he's not paying attention to us when we say, don't do that, please don't do that. He's trying to jump off couches and jump up cat trees, and he's a little wild maniac. All right. Sarah, yeah, Nightbot is a little early on the, hey everybody stand up. But Nightbot's looking out for us. The Nightbot has, if you do ! commands, it will show you what commands are available, but I'm trying to, every time I think about it, I try to add more people in. I know Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches is in there if you wanted to get her YouTube, and Sean and Russ and Steven. If I remembered to add them, I think Melissa of Creatively, or Practically Creative, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Every time I think about it, I try to add more stuff. But yeah, so you can follow some friends from here too. Hi, Shelly. It was not the healthiest of lunches, but I was feeling like a fish sandwich from Checkers, so that's what I got. Felt like it, so got it. All right, so let's get into for this month. So this is month 4. I'm going to go ahead and do the overhead. Yeah, here we go. So for month 4 for Legit Kits Color Vortex, I finished 3 blocks. I haven't trimmed them all. Hold on a second, I'm going to take a sip. Yeah, Elizabeth, Stephanie sends them out, so they'll come in an email to everybody. And if you are new and you need the previous ones, I'm not sure if Google tells her how new people are, if they've gotten, I'm not 100% sure how it works for her. So if you need any of the past ones, you just send her an email, she'll get them to you. But so here is, let's see, this is D3. I finished 3, I trimmed D3. I haven't trimmed the rest of them, but this is C4, which makes me giggle because it's explosive. C4 has 4, I think these, yeah, all of the ones that I've already done, and C3 had 4 colors on them. So those are done. I need to finish trimming them. And then today I'm going to work on, there are 2 pieces to D3? Nope, D4. D4A has 5 color, and then the little corner piece to it is a 3 color bit. So these are the ones I'm going to be working on. I might change. Let's see. Is it better with me up there? Or I think it might be better with me down here. Let me just get the mouse out of the way. Yeah, I think it might be better there. Has everybody, I know because I had to, I love fish sandwiches. I'm a sucker for fried fish sandwich. There's a place in Rehoboth Beach that has really good fish and chips. I've never been to England, so I'm not sure, you know, I can't compare it to like real deal fish and chips, but it's pretty darn good. I love fried fish. But, so, yay, Sarah, exciting. Very happy to have you join. If you got your legit kits month 4 and you already worked up month 4, did you already put together months 1 through 4 to finish that quadrant? I'm very much looking forward to doing that today, so I am going to hop to it. But definitely want to know if you guys already did yours, because I do appreciate everybody's patience with me having to postpone from last week to this week. Had some issues, needed to deal with the little man. Oh, extra tartar sauce. All right. Oh, hey, helps to turn on the machine. Oh, Sarah, if you wanted to get some inspiration and have an idea of because it's what 2-color quilt, what that means to you. So some folks, so like me and Stephanie both, we're actually doing just 2 colors. I'm doing all a green batik with a porcelain background. Stephanie is doing a blue with a white on white background. So that's how we're doing it. There are some folks who are doing shades of red and shades of gray. So it's shades of the colors. Oh, it's so much fun. You can do blue and white. Yes, that's Stephanie's doing blue and white. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love it. But it's pretty inspiring to see what everybody has been doing. Green's my favorite color, so it was always going to be green for me. But it's exciting to see what everybody's up to with their own interpretation. I think when my wallet recovers after this whole bass drop thing, I really need to look into, like, I don't know, go into like a pawn shop or something to see if there are used iPhones. Here's that little bit that I can get for a camera 3 that I can do an overhead of the iron area too. I think that'd be fun to have, be able to switch when I'm ironing, because for all of my sewing, whether it's FPP or it's traditional, I use the Acorn Easy Press. This is the old style of pen. They have a green label now. You can see that this has been loved and used for quite a while. The pen, you don't have to replace the pen. They have nibs that you can replace. So as long as the cats don't, they tossed one under somewhere. I'm not sure where that missing one is, but as long as it doesn't get damaged somehow, iron left too close to an iron or whatever, this pen can last forever. And then I fill it with the Acorn Easy Press precision product. And so I do this for, because it's just on the seams, you can do it with FPP. You can even do it with cotton cuts, even though they're pre-cuts. If you just do it on the seam and not so heavy-handed, it won't shrink. Even the cotton cuts piece. Alright. I want to do it this way. I'm using the natural light from the backyard to see if this third color is going to match up on this folded bit. This folded bit here. I use the natural light or overhead light. If you have a light box, you can use a light box. That always works to see that it's going to cover. And you can use the eye test. You can see that this is definitely coming across all the way. And the feel test to make sure you're going to catch your seam allowances too. So there are a number of different ways you can make sure you're getting the coverage you need. Is anybody else sewing it up today? Oh. You hear the cats underneath. One of them is angry with the other. I don't know if you notice, so this gives my geeky, nerdy heart, makes it very happy. So this color here is gold, and the letters for the gold are AU, which is the periodic table, the scientific coding or whatever it is on a periodic table for gold is AU. And that makes me happy. I didn't even look to see if there's a silver, and if silver or iron, if they have their periodic table labels. I'll have to do that now that I've realized it with gold. Clapper is not gonna help until after I iron. Yay, Tamala's sewing hers up. I'm glad I'm not the only one that autocorrect has not learned that I'm never saying seeing. I'm always saying sewing. Needs to get on board with that. Alright. So with this one, with D4, this first color is a big piece of fabric, and it can be annoying and flip-flop all over the place. So if you wanted to, once you verify that you have enough coverage, so I can tell here I'm definitely enough on the edges with the 1/4 inch seam allowance and making room, definitely covered there. I have enough. After I'll take out the selvage bit, I'll have enough to put on what will be piece 4 up top. I'm going to fold this back, and I have enough to connect piece 2 to it. Because it is such a large piece that will flop all over the place, if you're just starting out, you can either use a glue stick. You can just use like a school glue stick um, purple washable, I guess, or I'm not sure if purple is the only washable or if the little just white glue sticks are washable too. I don't know. I haven't had a kid in school forever. You can pin them like this. Once you get comfortable and a little more confident in it, you can not pin it and just go ahead and line it up with piece 2. But this pinning is a good way to make sure it's going to stay put while you're positioning your second piece. So, because when you're doing this, even with me feeling pretty confident about it by now, it can still shift a little bit, and then that always frustrates me because it might not cover, you know, all of the seam allowance, and I want to try to be as precise as possible when I'm doing that. You do it this way. And again, I'm going to hold it up to the light, either the natural light coming in from the doors to the backyard, or my light over here. And then because these oranges are a little dark, I'll feel where I need it to be and make sure that I'm covering, and I'm definitely covering the whole of piece 2. This is piece 2, and I can feel that I'm actually covering over the seam allowance and actually into piece 3. I cut generously to make sure that I didn't have any issues when I flip it back over. Right? I'm so excited when I saw that, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's gold. I geek out about those things. And then it reminds me of Friends. I don't know if anybody watched Friends, but there was an episode where Joey was talking about how he remembers why gold is AU, because he memorized it as AU, let go of my gold watch. I don't know why I've memorized that, but it's always made me laugh, and I'll never forget that AU on the periodic table is gold. It was effective, and look what you can learn from old sitcoms. You let go of my gold watch. Still kills me to this day. Oh, wow. Alright, well, we were air sewing there. Let me just make sure we weren't air sewing on the other piece. No. I don't know why all of a sudden it's not catching. Let's see. It's in the needle. So we're good there. Let's see. Arnie's still a new machine, so he and I are still figuring out our relationship. You still like to pin the big pieces? Yeah, it just makes it, helps you feel more confident, and anything that's going to make you feel confident doing it, I'm on board with. Because it is also a time suck to fix when things go wrong. Alright. Alright, let's see if Arnie's gonna play ball now. There we go. Hey, Patty. let's do this again. Let's get that out of the way. There we go. All right. That out of the way. There we go. That worked. Then I am not so fussy on these larger pieces about making these precisely a 1/4 inch. I'm just not that worried about it. So I will use a pair of scissors. I will trim the threads and I put them directly into the covered trash can. Now, just in case, even though those are awfully small and I don't think they would cause a problem, I'm taking no chances. Yeah, but from here, I'll just guesstimate like a scant 1/4 inch to a 1/4 inch. I like to leave a good amount to line up the piece, a healthy amount. But once she's on there, I'm good to trim it down. Patty, are you working on anything today? Are you working up a legit kit? Are you working on... I need to get on the ball on Stephanie's harvest box. I think we're about to have a harmonica join us. I feel like he's showing his intention over there. He's eyeballing the table. And there he comes. Hello, sir. Is that where you're going to lay? Okay. The brothers are still not very sure about bass drop. He smells... Well, I don't know what that was. He still smells funny because he can't have a bath yet. So he smells like the hospital and the other animals and the doctors and all the things. So they're still not exactly pleased with him. Oh, wow, really, Sarah? Oh, no! I'm sorry about the headache, Patty. Oh, I do love the sound of scissors. You are not wrong. That is good. What is it? AMSR? AMSR. Your dog sitting. Oh. Until she leaves your crocheting. Yeah. No, this is true. A cat must make an appearance. They realize their star power. Alright. Let's peel this back and get ready for the piece 3. The reason why these are folding back so nicely is because I pre-fold them with just a card, any card. You can use your add a quarter ruler, the thinner little side, if you don't have an add a quarter ruler, because it is not a requirement. It is one of the tools and gadgets that you will pick up as you continue doing FPP, but it is not a requirement to start FPP. But I just use just a card, and when I'm cutting the fabric, I will fold all the pieces back to get a general idea of where the next piece is going to go. And so that's why that folded back. I'm not so good that I can just fold and know that that's where the line is. I don't have those powers. So I know that this is really long and thin, but I'm still putting this in the colors, the leftover scraps and everything, because there are like on that mini rose, there were areas where this would definitely cover a piece. So I will hold on to pieces that large. All right, piece 3. We are moving along. I need to do another, not a tutorial, but just show how I've got all my fabrics alphabetized and in a file folder from scraps. And some of the scraps are healthy sized pieces of color, depending on what project they came from. Oh, does caffeine help? I had a friend who, no, I don't know if it's a migraine. No, you said sinus. I had a friend who got migraines, and she told me that she would, if it lasted long enough, she would eat a banana because the potassium would sometimes help, but depending on what kind of migraine it was, potassium could potentially make it worse. So it was always a crapshoot. I'm like, I just don't want to get migraines because that just sounds miserable. Oh, my apologies, Monica. The block, as it was going across the machine, it nudged Harmonica's back end, and he was not happy with that, so he got up. I'm sure he'll come back. I wonder if eating a banana would help. I do get ocular migraines, but they don't really hurt. They make me feel sick and dizzy, like I have vertigo. Have I talked about this before? I'm sorry if I'm boring you, if I have. But I wonder if eating a banana would help make the ocular migraine go away, because feeling nauseous is no fun. Oh, yeah. I think they will come in handy, because at some point I'm going to have so much fabric that I'm not going to need to order the fabric with a kit one of these days. I'll be able to just go to my file of Kona. Oh, okay. Y'all know I get distracted. Do you guys want to see one of the new FPP obsessions that Russ of Quilt Meets World, who is here, has gotten me to jump on board? I had never heard of this company called Vector Quilts, and I'm not 1,000% sure how like what their stock looks like or anything like that. But Russ had talked about doing some of their projects, and I picked up this. Ooh, lots of glare. Sorry. Look at that. There are Y seams involved in this, so that'll be a fun adventure. I've done Y seams before in smaller things, so and in repairing things, I've done Y seams. So I'm not scared of them. I just haven't done them repeatedly. So the only thing I can think is by the end of this, I will be a Y seam goddess. That's the goal. But this is on my want to do list from Vector Quilts at vectorquilts.com. So yeah, that's going to be a fun one. I love the colors that are on that picture. I'm thinking about doing, which way did I do it? This way? Nope. This way. Yes. I'm thinking about maybe doing it in ombre. I love ombres right now. I'm very much in a kick of ombres. Yeah, no, I haven't. I mean, it's all 1/4 inch seams, you know, just coming to the 1/4 inch seam. I didn't think it was as scary. I didn't realize it was supposed to be scary when I did it. It was pretty early on in my experience, so I didn't realize that it was something to be dreaded. So I just did it. So if a complete noob who had no idea what they were doing can do a Y seam just out of sheer ignorance, I'm going to bet all of you out there with experience now will be able to do a Y seam. But that top looks incredible. I'm super excited. I don't know when I will get to it in the long list of things I would love to do, but I have it to be done. Isn't it cool? It's going to be so cool. And it's big too, 96 by 96. That's a healthy size. I love all these oranges. You know, green will forever be my fave, but I do like this is nice fall, autumnal feel that it's got going on. I love that we're going to get the full color wheel from this quilt top. And then the next block of the month is an eyeball, which looks really neat. If you haven't seen it, if you are in the legit BOM Facebook group, I think that's where they put it first. I don't know if they've put it on their Instagram or on just their regular Facebook page. But for those that are doing the block of the month, the Color Vortex, they showed it off to us. It's pretty. It might be off-putting. Like I think it freaks people out because it's a big old eyeball. But I'm excited about the different colors and the way the iris, right? The iris is the color portion of the eye, right? The pupil, the iris, yeah. The iris is faceted, so I think it looks really cool. I'm very, very excited about it. Looking forward to that. And I hope some of you will join along when that kicks off, which isn't until October. So we got a little bit of time. Hey, Tangle Zest. Good morning. on the last piece of D4A. Then we'll put the little piece onto this bottom section, and I'll try to show it as best I can how, because I mean, look, it looks enormous compared to where it needs to end up. I'll try to show as best I can on the camera how to line those how to line the lines up. Let's see. Another reason why I like to do the light and the feel test is because I'm I guess spatially unaware of things. And the way this triangle goes this way on the paper, when I'm trying to think about what that looks like with the fabric on the back, I have a very hard time thinking, do I put the paper on this way or do I put the paper on this way? And I actually should have had the paper on this way for the angle. And my brain can't see that without putting it on and feeling that that's the way it should be. So that's why I like the light test and the feel test, to feel that it is covering where this triangle goes. That's a me thing. I'm gonna assume other people probably have that problem too. Can't visualize it, but I cannot visualize how that triangle lines up and how I should lay the fabric. And so before I found out about folding the paper over, folding this over and matching up the fabric, I would often, it was a 50-50 shot of I was going to line it up right or I was going to line it up wrong. But since I've started doing it this way and doing it on the light and doing the feel test, always good. So I was very happy to find that out and be able to use that. Far less frustrating. I don't think that sounds right. Maybe I'm wrong. Nope, I was right. It didn't sound right. Why it's having a hard time. It doesn't usually give me this hard a time. But look at that. I'm getting better at diagnosing the sounds when it doesn't sound right. Maybe I have to play with the tension a little bit. Yeah, it looks like I have to play with the tension a little bit, because it's not catching correctly. And the bobbins on a mechanical like this are touchy things. Hello, Darlene. Right, Tangles us. So I found that tip out before I was doing YouTube. So I don't remember who I learned that from, and I really, really, really wish I could find them so I can thank them, because it has been a game changer for me, and I would like to be able to thank them. And it was before I needed to remember who they were and be able to give them, shout out. And so I'm bummed that I can't give them the shout out that they deserve. All right, this one is too thick. I'm not going to be able to use this one. But, yeah, there were like angels singing when I watched them do that. And I was like, that's amazing. And I haven't had a problem since. sorry, harmonica. Hey, there we go. All right. Also learning about tension has been new, but fun. Because, again, I'm a gadget gal, so this is just a bigger gadget to play with and figure out. Yay! Oops. Well, now I'm going to have to start that over again because I just dropped it right out. Oh, yay! Well, David, you are most welcome. I am very excited about this quilt. And I have a wish list about a mile long, so there's that. I think a couple of the things that I was very interested in are in the sold out range right now, but that's okay, because I wouldn't be able to get to them right now anyway. Very happy to shout out very cool products and small businesses that are putting out awesome stuff. So thank you, Russ, for talking about it. I'd never heard of them. Alright, I think our tension issues are good to go. Ooh, Ingrid, tell me what one you got. There we go. Well, it sounded better, but it didn't do better. Buggerheads. Get all this hair out of my way. It's low tech today getting me. Let's try it again. So it's catching at some points, but not staying the whole way through. Like, is it snapping somewhere? I'll have to get that figured out. Maybe I did it tighter when I was trying to do it looser. Well, isn't this the conundrum? Oh, but it caught there. Let's try to at least get this seam done, and then I'll take her back out again. Nope. It's not gonna do it. Alright, maybe I tightened instead of loosened, and we will try it again. as you watch Harmonica get very comfy on the blocks. So yeah, maybe the way I did it was tightening it instead of loosening it. So I did that way that time. So we'll do this one. Are you sorry, Lefty Lucy? You're just supposed to do it so small. Okay. There we go. Try it again. Trial and error Sunday. Look, my glasses are slipping down my face. Fun. I got 12 blocks of the Storm at Sea. It's not the pineapple, but the Storm at Sea. Because that is actually an AccuQuilt die I want to get too. Is that one of the ones that Marianne lent us? Storm at Sea? I can't remember if it's just been in my wish list for so long or if Marianne did bring that down. But Storm at Sea is something that I've wanted to do. I think it's pretty. And so I got 12 blocks from David at Vector Quilts. Alright, let's trim these up and put them where they belong. So no cats are harmed in the filming of this block. Sorry, Harmonica. You're just gonna have to live with the paper touching your leg. That sounds good. That sounded good, yes. Hey, alright. I'm gonna keep the bag here so I don't have to keep reaching all the way across. Keep it at hand. So probably not as much of a learning curve as if I had a long arm, because listening to Russ and was it Bev? A couple of folks were talking about the learning curve of tensions on a long arm. This is probably not nearly as hard to learn, to figure out, but it's definitely something different. I never really thought about tension on the DX Juki I have, unless I was doing work on bags that had thick, like the soft and steady, or soft and soft and stable, there we go. And I would have to think about the pressure of the foot and everything. But this whole mechanical thing is a whole nother world, and I've had to think about tension changes depending on what thread I'm using, and so that's been fun. It's been fun to learn. But not lift. Not lift off your hand. It's a long armor trick to do the bobbin tension. Okay, cool. And yes, that was the thing that Marianne left. Okay, awesome. Excellent. So I'll have two ways of doing Storm at Sea. Alright, so there we go. there is, I'm going to use harmonica as a model. There is the last block. I'm going to apparently trim it up over on my ironing table so that I don't interrupt Sleeping Beauty here. And then I will find where he put the other piece and sew that together. The love of pets. Oh, here it is. He didn't put it anywhere. I put it over there. Well, yay. I'm glad I don't have to go searching for it. That harmonica. Did you move? Nope, it's over here. Look at him getting so comfy. I don't think I'm doing myself any favors with the tension piece, Tamala, in that I'm using the monofilament, which probably adds a little bit of excitement to figuring out proper tension. And moving back and forth. What I need to do is get a second bobbin holder for this so I can keep the thread, which is usually Aurifil Dove that I'm using for piecing, and the monofilament that I'm using for FPP in their bobbins with the tension set correctly. Right now I only have the one, and I'm going back and forth and trying to remember what the tension setting is. And that's not easy. Oh, harmonica baby. This isn't working very well. I'm going to end up having to have you scooch, my friend. Yeah, you are adorable, but you are so in the way. Alright, well, why don't I just trim the area that I need to work on, and you can stay where you are. You spoiled little brat. Alright, so we're going to work to get this piece added to the bigger piece. And I know how it looks right now. It feels like it shouldn't fit. So it looks so big. Oh, I didn't even trim this yet, so let me trim this guy. On the back of Legit kits, of their paper patterns, they have the dark black line, which is your sew line, at the 1/4 inch mark. And they have the magic white lines that will form, so like on this piece, let's see if you can see, yeah, the white lines here, here, and here. These will help when you are sewing this piece that looks like it shouldn't fit on to this piece. It will help you line up the pieces of paper so that these meet at the ends. And I'll show you, once I get this finished trimmed up, I'll show you what that means. Sorry for a lot of time not looking at the camera. I apologize for that. There we go. Alright, harmonica. So now that it's trimmed up, it looks a little bit better. Like it might sort of kind of fit. Do you see it looks like it's too wide where the seam allowances meet? Or don't meet, as it were? When you put them together, let me move my hair out of the way. When you put them together, and I get clips. I almost swallowed one there. That would have been hysterical if I started choking on a wonder clip. That'd be my look. Alright, let's see if I can show this both on camera well and without interrupting the spoiled one there. So I'm matching this white line this white line with the edge of the fabric, which now that I'm thinking about that I didn't trim it, might not be the best way to do it. Bugger heads. Alright, I might actually have to move harmonica to do this, to be able to show you correctly. I don't want to show it off where it's not going to line up the right way. I might not be able to do that with him where he's at. And I don't want to confuse you, because this stuff can be plenty confusing on its own. Alright. Here we go. Now all of the areas are trimmed up, so the paper will fit on it and will make more sense. My apologies, trying to make accommodations for sleeping cats was about to make things much more confusing than they needed to be. So again, I'm going to line up the white lines so that they match the corners of the fabric. And when I flip it over, we should also be, I want to put a wonder clip on here super fast because they line up pretty good and I don't want them moving. So you'll see, hopefully you'll see the white matches up on the paper edge of the smaller piece too. Here, right there. Well, me folding it is making it misalign. Oh, I wish there was an easier way to show that off. Yeah, see the way I'm trying to hold it up, it makes it funky. But you line those white pieces, white triangle pieces up on the paper, on the edges of where you're going to be sewing it, and then you still sew that 1/4 inch on the dark black sew line. So you can use the white line as it stretches all the way across to start your sewing as well. Yes. Hey, Stephanie! We're getting serious when the hair gets pushed out of the way. Alright, now let me lift this up. So you're going to put the needle in where the white line extends your sew line all the way across. That's where you're going to want to drop your needle in. And because I sew on a small stitch length, and for the paper to rip really easily for you, you should be sewing on a smaller stitch length than you usually do, whichever stitch length makes you comfortable. I'm a lunatic and like a 1.2. You don't have to go that low. But if you normally stitch it like a 2.5, bring it down to a 2. possibly. It's harder to rip out when it's time if you need to readjust, but it holds the pieces together, and it makes tearing the papers out so much easier. So play around for what your sweet spot is of pain tolerance for ripping out, and pain tolerance for tearing papers out. There we go. That just doesn't sound like it's sewing correctly either. Oh, that's because the needle came unthreaded. Oh, this machine. What I cannot do using the monopoly filament is use the threader. It never works. I haven't had a lot of luck using it with regular thread either, though. I think I'm gonna have to watch more videos on threading your TL, because they make it look like it should be super easy, and the automatic threader I have not had luck with. Everything else about this machine I absolutely adore. Hey, Pet Boo. Oh, hey, you know what? When it's time to nap, it's time to nap. Your body knows. Don't think I'm having luck with this doing what it's supposed to do. Nope, that doesn't sound right, does it? Well, let's get these clips back on so we don't lose the positioning. And we're going to rethread. So I'm going to follow the rules and not pull the thread back up, even though I'm often a rule breaker and don't necessarily do that. And then I use the knee lifter to let go of the tension and the tension discs and pull the thread all the way through the way it's supposed to go. Is it? Yeah, Math Geek, I have not had luck. It has not mattered what thread I've used. I have not had any luck with the threader. So I have pretty much just ignored it. The one on the DX is pretty legit. Pretty spoiled by that bad boy. Do the floss test, make sure it moves through easily. Around that. Around this. If you don't talk to yourself while you're threading your machine, I don't even know who you are. I also get very sing-songy as I'm doing it. I'm going to bet that it's exactly the same as the TL 2010, because I think the only difference is that this one has the micro lifter piece over here. I think that's the only difference, and it's the QVP, so it has the pretty blue on it, which was absurd but was important to me. All right, let's do a test run. Let's use the selvage edge and see what we've got since I rethreaded. Oh no. So, you saw that I successfully sewed the other blocks together, right? It's just going to give me fits on a live, because when else would you? Oh, Base Drop just saw a blue jay land and tried to go jump off the table to go get the blue jay. Okay, so Tamala, when you're doing that, when you're trying to do the test, how do you keep the bobbin in the bugger? Every time I try to bounce it to make sure the tension is right, the bobbin slips out, and then drives me insane. Did I put the... Maybe I'll just leave that out. Trying to convince Space Drop to lay down. I'm getting better at finding where the bobbin goes in without looking. That's exciting. There we go. Alright, where did that practice bit go? Well, I feel like I shouldn't waste the shot on a practice bit. If it's going to work for a little bit, I should do it on this. That sounds good. That sounds like the bobbin and the needle are working together. Okay, maybe I won't thread cut it. Maybe I'll just scissor cut it, and we'll see. But let's see. Ooh, I am very happy with that. So those white lines of magic help you keep everything lined up, and then you'll end up with pretty points. Now, does that always work 100% of the time? Absolutely not, because fabric likes to move when you're putting it under the needle. Thicker pieces where a lot of pieces of fabric are coming together and they form like a thicker hump will sometimes move things up or down or side to side. So it doesn't mean every single time it's going to work out that pretty. It just gives you a far greater shot of that being the case. So there weren't so many pieces of fabric coming together to get in the way and create a weird hump. Going slow over those areas where there's more fabric and it gets tricky, and where it makes your fabric do things you don't want it to do. Moving slower over those areas can help. I have been known to hand crank slow over those areas. So sometimes it is a lot of trial and error. and you might become, you know, over the course of an area that has a lot of thick seams, might become very well acquainted with your seam ripper. But those magic white lines definitely give you the best chance of success. Right. Oh, forgot, now I have to move all my cutting stuff. Hi, buddy. Oh, that's a very big stretch. Are you comfy? Are you enjoying your time in the limelight? You look ridiculously happy. Alright, let me get this ironed up and I will show you the finished product. When there are joins like this, if it were a single piece of fabric in this, on this side or on this side, I may just iron to one side and not be too concerned about it. It's 5 pieces coming together, so I will iron this open just to relieve some of that bulk. But it is entirely up to you how you want to handle joining different pieces of blocks together. I will tell you, on that mini rose where there were a lot of pieces coming together, I don't think, aside from where they joined very large pieces of single fabric, I don't think that there is not, or I don't think there is a spot in there that isn't an open seam, aside from around those edges where it was just all blue. But yeah, there was a lot of open seams on the mini rose because there were a lot of tiny pieces of fabric coming together, but still creating a lot of bulk. Let's get this good and ironed flat. Ooh, Russ, we were talking about the sound of scissors. I love the sound of scissors. I love the sound of a rotary cutter going through fabric. The sound of the irons, I don't know what it is, but it drives me insane. You can, like, I don't even know what it is you hear, like pressing down and the pieces of plastic moving. I'm not exactly sure, but it drives me cuckoo. Alright. So that looks pretty darn good. I will trim up just these little dog ears and show you what we got. Oh, I'll show you in just a sec, Pat. I'll show you in just a sec. I have the Juki 2020. Oh, leaders and enders, that'd be good too, yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Alright, so there is our join where those come together. I am pretty happy with that intersection right there. Excited for those pieces. So I was just checking to make sure, because this little bit right here is definitely darker, and I wanted to make sure I had the color oranges correct, and I do. I just wanted to make sure. This is not a shadow. This is actually darker than this one, and this is the gold meeting in that one bit. But yeah, it has happened to me before where I have sewn the wrong color on. So let me get this dog ear out of the way. Although I don't think I have this side trimmed yet, so that didn't really matter. All right, how much time? Oh, we've got time. We're gonna try to, while harmonica is resting, I'm going to put a couple. We'll do the quadrant. We're gonna sew the 4 patches together into a larger 4 patch. So we have A1 and 2, B1 and 2. Needs another iron, but I'm going to wait until I get them together. So A1 and 2 and B1 and 2. I'm going to put together with oh, look at those greens. Oh my gosh, that made me so happy. Yeah. A4, A3, 4, B3, 4. So I'll put those together. And then once harmonica is convinced to get up from his nap, and I'll trim the D's and the C, so D3 and 4 and C3 and 4. Then I'll put those together with C1 and C2 and D1 and D2. And then we'll have those together, and then we'll sew the one seam to sew the four patches into one large 4 patch, which is going to be gorgeous. Ooh, someone shared. Oh, the small leaders, yes. Oh, Shelly. Oh no, that does not sound fun. Alright. So, my friend, Kat, this may annoy you enough for you to decide to go nap somewhere else. We'll see though. You have an astonishing knack of just ignoring me. Which I think he's doing right now. Alright, let's try to get that paper back in. So, A3 and 4, A1 and 2. They're going to go together like this. Harmonica is now blanketed by legit kits. So, of course, when we're putting together the 4 patches, that center seam is going to be an important one. Hey, so Terry. Oh no, Russ. Oh, you know what? I need to sew this guy open. I mean, sew this guy open. I need to iron this guy open. Harmonica, you're so in the way. I need to iron this open. Russ, at this point, I feel like you should just, you know, go back up to Massachusetts and work from your sister's house. For a little bit, maybe. Although I don't know how all the animals would travel. That might be a little rough. Or have you looked into purchasing, you know, huge blocks of ice to sit on? let's get this seam open, and then we'll put those together. And then even for the larger pieces like this, the white lines, that's what I'm going to start to show you here once I get these together. The white lines will still help us line up the beginning and the end of the seam that we're going to sew across the 4 blocks to join it all together. So I'll show you that in just a second. Just want to get this seam opened up so we can join the blocks successfully together. So yeah, larger 4 patch, but the construction remains the same with using the white lines. So I may be actually getting to the point where I'm annoying him enough for him to go find a new spot. Nope, he just laid back down again. What a bugger. Alright, so I'm gonna join the center. Oh, maybe I'll do, hi buddy. Maybe I'll do this to show. I'm going to join the center seams to make sure they line up. And I do this with just the Wonder Clips. If you are a pinner, please feel free to use pins, whatever you're more comfortable with. But for me, I'm joining with the Wonder Clips. Then, let me go back to this. Hi bud, I know, but I can't tell what I'm pressing with you in the way. So Pat, these are the white lines I'm talking about. Are you looking into the camera? Hi. These white lines here at the corners where we're going to be joining the A1-2 section to A3-4, you're going to make sure these line up and meet across both sections. I don't know if you can see that very well. Hard to film that. They're on both sides, so you want to make sure that they meet and that you're making sure your fabric is not stretched. You don't want to stretch the fabric, but taut so that it's meeting where it should across that. So I'm going to put another Wonder Clip right there, and for added insurance I put one at the top too. So I do it like this. I do it here where that met, and then across the top as well, to keep everything in place as I move down. Then I check to see, do I have pieces that are going to meet, like, if you can see this, oh, this is really hard to show. Like, these greens are going to want to match, so I will make sure that that is another place I'm putting a Wonder Clip so things don't move around. Grab a couple of Wonder Clips out so we've got them prepared. There's a couple. And a couple more. There we go. So yeah, I'll put another Wonder Clip here to hold this section together in anticipation for those two pieces to meet. And then I'll move down the block and see where we've got other sections to meet, but I'm going to join the ends because that will help line up in between the middle seam and the end will help line up anything that are supposed to meet in the middle. Oh yeah, they wouldn't. Oh, but this is special circumstances. I feel like they should be able to let you work from somewhere colder. Alright, so then this is another section that we're going to want to make sure. These are two straight lines coming across. I want to make sure they meet where they're supposed to. So I'm going to clip there. And then I am going to trim that dog ear. Boop. Just like that. And get that out of the way. Get a stitch to start. Remove this. And then I keep the, I don't know if you can see it with where the camera is, but I keep this top one up there just to hold, so this is aligned straight. It helps inform the rest of the block what it should be doing, theoretically. And what I have to remind myself, and if you need to remind yourself too, this is not a race. I'm going for quality here, not quantity of how many I can put together. And I want to have to rip as little as possible with the tiny stitch that I'm putting in here. Alright, so we're coming up to this clip. I'm going to move it out of the way. Coming up to the end. I can feel a little shifting, so I want to make sure that I'm holding it a little taut. Again, not stretching, but keeping the two lift up so I get over that middle seam. Keep her going. Good. Get this last one out of the way. My apologies for Monica. There we go. Remember not to do the thread cutter, just in case. And let's get a look to see how close we got. Did we do it to perfection? Or good enough for me? Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Thank you, Harmonica, my model. So, yeah, that looks really good. This is the in between the two sections. That is good together for a 4-patch. There we go, Harmonica. Nope, you're gonna stay still. All right, thank you. You're gonna head off now. You well rested, and then this section looks good too. Woohoo! All right, I am happy with that. So, when I've checked and I'm happy, that's when I will take the papers. Listen, cat butt. That's what I'll take the papers once I've checked it and I don't feel like I need to readjust, tweak any little bits. I will take the papers off at the seams because they have done their job well for me. And then I will iron these seams open as well in the in-between. Oh yeah, they're there for that reason. That's what makes Legit Kits patterns so beginner friendly, because they have them there for that. Cat, you can't be on. You can't be on the thing. All right, Harmonica. It's definitely time for you to skedaddle. Thank you, but you need to go. Let me get all these papers out of the way so you don't drag them with you. But yeah, if you check out their website, they have instructions in all of their kits. They have instructions for how to use the magic white lines to sew their kits up. So yes, they are on purpose and thoughtfully prepared that way. All right, Harmonica. I can't get you to move whether you want to or not. Move it. All right, bud. Come on. No, I don't want to fight. I want you to go. There we go. Woo! Success on removal of Harmonica. He's switching camera angles. I feel like I'm being judged by the cat. Oh, it's never too late. Now you know. Now you know for the next ones. I did not read those instructions when... What did I do first? It was Sail Away, I guess, is what I was working on when I was the tester. And I... Look at all that cat hair. I hadn't read about them, got a little flustered, and watched a couple of the instructors' videos from who were a part of the test group. And they talked about the magic white lines and that they were in the instructions that I would have known if I had read them. And I'm really bad at, do things by sight, I guess, and by feel. I was trying to feel it out, figure it out for myself. Alright, let's remove the rest of these. And we'll give it an iron. This ironing mat over here is definitely not like a large, comfortable ironing mat to do a whole press on all of this, but I'll get the center seam pressed out good enough for us. There we go. That paper's out. Set our seams that I try to remember. Try to be a good sewist. Okay, we were talking about this. Do you say sewist or do you say sewer? And do you change what you use if you're having to write it? Because saying sewist, I think, sounds weird. But writing sewer, which is sewer, I don't like. Y'all are getting real deep glimpses into the weird things that I think about when I'm sewing, or that I'll chat about with the kids. That was a topic of conversation after my 11 a.m. today. Yeah, harmonica. Big pain in the tuchus. He knows he can pretty much get away with anything, though. Oh, I'm so happy with how these seams lined up. Again, those little white lines, not a guarantee, especially going across such a large seam. Fabric has a mind of its own, and sometimes it'll do shifty things. But it really does set you up for success as best it can. All right. Now let's sew this one open too, and I'll show you the big. Well, I'll show it to you the best I can. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera. I apologize for the mechanical errors today. But I learned from Tamala the tension trick. And if I'm going to have these mistakes, I like having friends around to help me figure them out. Alrighty. So there we go. Alright, there are those two together. Which way do I need to go? This way. Woohoo! Oh, I love the greens. I love the greens. I love the greens. Yay! So then I will set this aside and get month 4's blocks together and get those put. Challenges are helpful because they help you see. Yeah. And I like, you know, I get like, I would love to never make a mistake in front of everybody. It's never fun to goof something up. But it's the perfect opportunity to teach, you know, how I would fix it, or if it's something I've not come across before, how you guys would fix it. And that sharing of knowledge is super cool. Alright, I got rid of my table so I can have more room to trim. So we can get moving on this. Because we need to shake a tail feather. right. If you're sewing along, how is your month 4 going? And what has been the rhythm that you've found? Are you cutting all of the fabric as soon as the block of the month gets to you? Whether you're cutting your own fabrics or you have the kit that's coming to you, are you cutting all of the fabric for that month and pinning it to the papers, or are you cutting as you go? Looking forward to your first small piece. Oh, of like small piece of what? I wonder how small the piece is. But thinking of that, I wonder how small, as we get towards the center of the vortex, I wonder how small the pieces are going to get on this. I'm excited. Oh yeah, and do you do that? Do you take out all of the paper aside for the seams, or do you leave all the paper in? I leave all the paper in because I like the stability it provides when putting it together. But golly Bob, is it a pain? Like, oh, it's the worst. Sail Away still has paper in it because it's so tedious. It's so tedious. Even if I'm, plopped in front of the TV watching, I've started watching on Max, the Great British Throwdown, which is Potters. That's fun. I'm in season 2. So I love watching. I just love watching artists do their thing. I like Blown Away, which is glass work. I like, what is it? Forged in Fire, which is making swords and knives and stuff. Wrong direction. Bloop. And bloop. So yeah, I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. I just like watching artists do their thing. I like So You Think You Can Dance. Anything with artists doing artistry. You cut first and then sew all at one time. That's cool. Alright, so we're going to line up C3 and C4, which I will never not say and not think of explosives. Line up the magic white lines. And remember to go slowly over where we have these 3 pieces coming together and meeting these 3 pieces. So I'll go slowly over that to help prevent the fabric from shifting when we are sewing over it. And I'm not going to throw my table back up here, because when I need to trim, it's just gonna get in the way. There we go. Slowing down a little bit, coming to where all those pieces meet on both blocks. So giving me the best shot to not have fabrics move. And a trim. And another trim. Let's see how we did. I like it. I feel pretty good about that too. So we will set the seam and take the papers off and get a move on. I guess I could have done D at the same time. So what I will do is take the papers off and then go ahead and do D. So D3 and 4 go together. Make sure those loose fabrics are moving with you as you're trying to get the papers lined up. You don't want to distort the fabrics, but you also don't want to miss the fabrics, like if they are folded back where they shouldn't be. You don't want that to happen when you're sewing the blocks together. There we go. And make sure these line up so that the sections where the fabrics come together. So we've got another 3 coming here and 3 coming here. So that's going to be one that we're going to watch when we get to it. Drop the feed dogs, drop the needle, and away we go. So we're coming up to there we go. Came up to that spot where they were meeting. Slowed it down a little bit. Still probably going a little too fast, but I'm trying to get it done so that we can see all of them come together. So, fingers crossed, I'm still happy with where they meet. Yeah, I'm alright with that. That's looking good. I'm good right there. Alright, and we'll get these opened up and joined. Because I'm racing the clock. If I don't finish right at 3, I hope that you guys will humor me. But if not, it'll always be on the recording. But I do want to get these together into the bigger quadrant. If not, thank you all so much for hanging out with me while you could. Totally understand if you've got a Sunday full of activities. I'm always super thankful of you guys coming and hanging out, whether I'm just cutting fabrics or chitty-chatting more than doing anything else. I really do appreciate you guys being here for that conversation. The D. C with harmonica hair all over it. I'd seen it before, but it just popped up on my Instagram. Somebody was spitting with their cat hair. Ooh, very cool, Stephanie. Isn't it satisfying when all of it like joins and like you realize, oh wow, we are close. So now I'll put these together. Again, making sure I know that the ends of the blocks are together, but also that middle seam. Because just like a 4-patch, that location is a spot people look for sure. Let's go here and hold this section nice and together. I felt a little slippage when I was doing the 2D sections together, where the top one was sliding back and the bottom one was sliding forward. So I want to avoid that. Like at the needle, the bottom one was poking out a little bit more, and I don't want that to happen. I want to make sure that they are butted up together nicely the whole way down, so that I'm sewing at the 1/4 inch line on both sides. Because if you don't catch that 1/4 inch seam as close as possible, it will distort where fabrics come together across the blocks. That one. And let's hold this up. Alright, coming to the center. I need to lift the foot to get up and over the pressed open seam. And while I don't want the bottom to slip out, I also don't want the top to slip too far over. So I want to be keeping very aware of where top and bottom are in relation to each other. Let's remove that last piece. There we go. Let's see how well we did with the center of D3 and 4 and C3 and 4. There we go. Good joins. Good joins. Happy camper. Let's remove those papers. And set seams. These papers don't want to come out. Now, everyone that is sewing up the vortex, have you decided what it's going to be used for? Are you going to use it as a blanket? Or are you going, as a blanket. I mean, you know what I mean. As like a quilt for your bed? Or are you going to make it a wall hanging? Don't kick me out of the club for saying blanket. I think I would be so proud of it. I want to use it. I want it to be functional. So my plan is for like a couch throw or something to be used. You know there will be cats on it, that's for sure. You're doing a wall hanging? Okay. Yeah. Oh, Pat, no, I was having some issues earlier in this live where it appeared every time I used the thread cutter, the thread was doing weird things at the bobbin, and so I would have to redo it. So I didn't want to have to keep redoing it on the live. So until I figure that out, we're gonna go with no thread cutter. All right. Let me sew that. Iron that back a little bit more. There we go. Now, time for C1 and 2, C3 and 4, pop them together, and away we go again. The longer seams are faster. There's that at least. Go a little bit slow over there's some fabrics coming together in this one section, so I'm going to go a little bit slower over that so that I don't distort. Hold that together. This will come all the way down. got a good join here. Yes. Woo! You guys are good luck charms. Here we go. A little bit of that out of the way. All right, so we just got to do this open real fast, and we will get A and B added to it, and then we will be good to go. I think what I might do is just get C open where it will join together with B, and then worry about the rest of it off camera. Just get it to the point that I need it so we can see the final quadrant, which again might be fun. Trying to show that off. Oh, so there's C and D. Woo! Again, not all ironed out, so don't be sad about the centerpiece there. I'll do that off camera, but I do want to get the pieces together, and I'll want to iron out all of it anyway. So. I can do the rest of that seam. Open up the rest of that seam once I'm at the big ironing. I have underneath a horse blanket wool mat, or over top a horse blanket wool mat, under the saddle wool mat. That's enormous, and that's what I have like the big Panasonic iron on. That's where I do the big ironing. So that's where this is going to need to go, because now that we have the quadrant together, 25% done. Wow, 25% done. It's getting to the point where I need the big iron. My little Alysso wants nothing to do with this. Yep. All right. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yay, Russ. Very excited about that. Right? So 4 months. 4. Yeah. Because it's 8 by 8, so 6. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Math, not my thing. Other people are saying it's a quadrant. It's 25%. I'm going with it's 25%. Oh, no, I do. I wish I had my table, but that's all right. It's going smoothly. Ooh. Yeah, it is. It's 25%. Wow. See how I had to use my fingers there? Thread just busted. What happened? Oh, it caught on itself. Oh, buggers. It's been a day, eh? There we go. Let's not have a repeat of that. I took the netting off because it was getting twisted up in the netting, and the netting was ending up in the this. So they have to rethink how it's going to sit up there. But that should be a quick fix, and we should be back in business. Alright, I'm going to fold this up. Oh, y'all should have seen me with Sail Away. I was folding and origamiing. Because Sail Away is also an 8x8. The cone appears to be cross-wound. That's what it looks like. Yeah. Because, yeah. It's got the crosses going. So I'm going to say cross-wound. Woo, so close, you guys. That seam. Foot. There we go. I just realized I'm gonna knock the camera over. That would have been funny. You've just been looking at the ceiling like, Shannon? Alright, last seam. I'm using the thread cutter. Alright. So, not ironed, but I'm going to stand up. Okay, so with it cross-wound, the spool cap wouldn't help. Okay, the net wasn't helping either. But here we go. Well, maybe if I move back out of the way. Needs a good iron, but she's done, and I'm happy with all of the joints. Everything looks great where the points match up. Here, and here, and here. Ooh, 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 ooh. Look at those. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. So, woo! All right. So if I had not had the mechanical errors we would have finished right on time. I appreciate you guys hanging out and waiting to see the finish. I will put it up on the design wall after I get it nice and ironed, so it's the prettiest it can be. And I will post a picture of it on my Instagram and Facebook. But that is, wow. So not only is the quilt top a quarter of the way done, that means we're a quarter of the way done with the quilt itself. Oh, okay, I have a separate cone holder. I could do that, see if that helps. But there we go. So exciting. I can't believe we're already a quarter of the way through. That is wild to me. And then we're going to start another one in October. That's going to be exciting too. So we'll have some overlap. We'll have, so let's see, August 4, September 5, October 6. So we'll be halfway through Vortex when I don't know what the name of it's going to be, but when the next one starts. So we'll have a 6-month overlap of the two going at the same time, and then it'll just be the eye for a little while. That's cool. That's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'll have some eye sewing, which sounds unpleasant, but when the next one launches, what? Oh, that is crisp work. Oh, that makes me feel good. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I am very, very excited to sew the rest of the months with you all, and it is exciting to see the big pieces coming together, and kind of like reinvigorates me to see each month now to form the next quadrant and see what colors we're going to add. I know I could go back and look at the picture, but I kind of don't want to. I want to be surprised when the next month comes and see what colors we're moving into. I don't really want to ruin that, I don't think. But thank you all so much. Again, everybody, if you weren't here earlier, or if you haven't already, and Sarah, who was here earlier, may not be here anymore, just joined our 2-color quilt challenge. You have until tomorrow night to vote for month 4. So we're on month 4 of 6 for the 2-color quilt challenge. Absolutely not too late to join if you haven't already. But voting ends tomorrow night at 10 p.m. so that I can get the winning blocks to Stephanie and she can start writing those patterns Tuesday or Wednesday. Give her till Friday. This is, again, a retreat month for Stephanie, so it is busy, to say the very least. So give her some time to get the 2-color quilt challenge. I think you might all be able to tell which ones are winning. It's pretty clear cut this go round too. But I hope you'll join us if you haven't. If it's plenty of time. They're large blocks, 12.5 inch blocks, 2 at a time for each month. So yeah, thank you all so much. I will see you not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday to sew those 2-color quilt blocks together. I will see you Thursday morning for my podcast, which is pre-recorded. It's not a live. And then again, next Sunday will be our regularly scheduled brunch at 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time. So thank you all again for your patience and for hanging out with me a little bit longer than usual. I'm so excited to have gotten this all completed. I'll get it ironed and all nice and pretty. And I will talk to you all soon. Oh, Sarah's still here. Yay! Sarah joined us today. Stephanie, if you didn't see that, I'm excited we have another person join us. Awesome. Okay, so thank you all so much. I'm going to hit end, and I will see you Thursday for the podcast and Sunday for brunch. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Have a great week.